Okay. Good evening, everyone. So welcome back to the session. So in last class, we have seen about the types of architectures, right? So I'm gonna brief the architectures one more time in a quick manner, so then we can go for the next topic for today. So let me open the document for you. So coming to the architecture, like what is the definition of architecture? Architecture is nothing but the blueprint of any application, right? Fine. So coming to the types, how many types do we have here? What are those? One tier, two tier, three tier, and n tier. Correct. So tier can also be called as server or layer. So tell me the definition of server. How can you describe server? Server serves the services to the end user. Correct. Okay. So coming to the types of servers, how many servers do we have here mainly? Three. What are those? Web server, app server, as well as DB server. A web server can also be called as presentation layer. App server can also be called as business or logic layer, and DB server can also be called as data layer. So here my question is, whenever if you see the 3-tier architecture, so mainly you will be seeing three kind of servers: web to show the application, app to use the application, DB to store and retrieve the data. So in last class, if you go and observe, we have seen how to create the server. I mean, like I just shown you normally. I haven't explained that process. I have created a server and I just installed the Apache and I shown you the application, right? So today, what exactly I'm going to do is, I'm going to create the server one more time and I'm going to deploy some other application for you, okay? Again, I'm not explaining the concept of server here. My main intention for all of you is I just want to show you how much of automation we are going to learn, okay? Today agenda is only to deliver the complete automation for you, okay? There is nothing concept what we are going to learn. Why? Because so again, Monday, some people are going to add along with you. Okay. So for today's session, I'll be creating one more server and this time I'll be deploying one other application for you, as well as I'm going to guide you what are the major key factors you are going to learn as a DevOps engineer to get the jobs. So I'll be going here and I'll be creating an EC2 instance normally. So let me go and create the name as the server as Raham. So T2 micro will be there and I'll be having the key pair. I'll just select the all traffic. And today we are also going to have some interaction part together. So let me connect to the server. So in the meanwhile, I would like to ask one thing from all of you is, so how many of you are freshers here? 2021 to 24 passed out. You all people will come as a freshers without year gap. Again, raise your hands, man. Okay, majority. And how many of you are below 2020 passed out, like 2019, 18, 17? 1, 2. You people still haven't passed out, huh? You are not raising the hands. Oh, still graduation. Good. Fine. Okay. So guys, tell me one thing frankly. What is your expectation from this course? Just tell me this one. What do you expect from this course? I'll give you 3 different options for you. Option number 1, knowledge. Option number 2, job. Option number 3, just for fun. Which one you choose? Option number 2, all of you, huh? Fine. So whatever the option you selected, that is not going to be the good choice. I'll tell you one thing. All of you are going to aim for job only. But tell me one thing, without proper knowledge, do you think, are you going to get the job really? Just question yourself. I'll conduct the interview right away. Why? Because I have a lot of connections and our Naresheti placement team will work a lot for the placement. After the completion of the class, within 1 week, I can conduct the interview. Your goal is to get the job, but without knowledge, how can you crack it? That's what my main question. Is my question clear for all of you? Hmm. So remember one thing in our course, forget about the job. I am not speaking about the jobs as of now, but whatever the content, whatever the knowledge you are going to learn is not a normal kind of knowledge. Even I'm telling you, by the end of the course, even though if you put 3 years of experience, I will guarantee that you are going to crack any kind of job. Okay. To make sure this point very, very clearly, first of all, let me go and let me show you some proof so then you can get some clarity. I have a student, I mean, like she's not from IT, from non-IT, I can say. She has zero knowledge before coming to the DevOps. I'm just telling like what happened in the last few months exactly. So she's from non-IT completely. She doesn't have any kind of knowledge. But after learning this course, she attempted 4 interviews and she cracked all of the 4 interviews. You know what's the package she got? It is 12 lakhs. How much? 12 lakhs. That is a question number one. And the second thing will be there is one other guy, and again, like he's also from non-IT. He's not from like CSC and EC. He's from different background. So he took the course very seriously. He worked for just 3 to 4 months. That's it. After the course completion, he worked for only 1 month as per my guidance. After that, he got the opportunity. Now his current package is 5 lakhs. This happened just a day before. Like, just let me show you something here. Why? Because if I tell you something, so that must be realistic, right? So let me show you the conversation, what exactly we had. Give me a second. So he's the man. His name is like Subramaniam. Like, let me show you. This is the conversation, like what happened after our class last day. So if you go and check here, wait, where is it gone? Yeah. So this is what exactly happened for the last day. So if you go and see, like he said that these kind of things. So, hi sir, good evening. I got a job in AWS DevOps from Bangalore, like from so and so company. And like, thanks for your guidance. Like everything, it's fine. And if you go to the package here, you know what is the package they got? Can you see that package? Of course, the image is some blurred. Okay, fine. But can anyone read me that figure for me? 5 lakhs, right? Guys, not this one. Okay, this is the monthly salary. Okay, just convert this into the yearly package. What is the package you got? 5 lakhs. He got this package as a fresher, not an experience. Okay, and there is some other person. Like, let me show you the other person. Like what they got means. But because first of all, I need to give you some trust. If you take this course, definitely you're gonna get the job. If I give the trust, so definitely it's gonna boost your levels a lot. That is the reason. First of all, before beginning the topic, I'm just showing this one. So if you go and see, like she also like from the same background, from non-IT. So first of all, like she thanked me for clearing the doubts and queries from my course. And if you go and see, she got the complete offer, like 4 offer letters. One is from Airtel, second one is from Capgemini, third one is from Wood, and fourth one is from. And you know the package that she got is 15 LPA. How much? Guys, trust me, she's from non-IT, not from IT. And after taking this course, like how much she's earning now? 15 lakhs. And there is one other guy called Binny. Okay. He is almost all having 4.5 years of gap. How much? But after taking this course, he grabbed the package of 16 lakhs per annum. How much? Tell me one thing. Lot of you people think DevOps is very difficult. Might be. You might think it is difficult or easy. But keep the difficult or easy apart. My first point for all of you is, guys, as a DevOps engineer, cracking the job is very, very easy. Some people might tell you DevOps is very difficult. It's not for fresher. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. But whatever the course that I'm going to deliver, from day one to day end, from day one to day end, if you are completely investing just 2 hours of time per day, I don't want like 4 to 5 hours of studies per you. I just want only 2 hours of studies from you per day. If you invest just 2 hours of time in your day for practice, by damn sure I'm telling you, by the end of the course, you are going to get the job. And again, Naresh IT is responsible for providing the placements also. We will provide the placement assistance. Okay. So if you prepared by the end of the course, cracking the job will be very, very easy. And again, I'm telling you, if you go for 3 to 4 jobs, might be first job you cannot crack it. Might be second job you can't crack it. But third one, definitely you are going to crack it or not, sir. And to improvise your skills, here we are going to give you the mentor support, and I'm gonna take the interview question. See, for example, if I complete a concept, I'm not gonna let you go like that. Okay, I am gonna take one session for you, and I'm gonna ask you the interview questions. What are the most frequently asked questions in the above topic? So these kind of preparation is also going to happen here. And after completion of like 2 or 3 weeks, if you want to test yourself how much you are perfect in the subject, we are going to conduct mock interview for every week. For example, let's say in this week, if I complete the Git, we are going to conduct one mock interview. You can go and you can attend and you can compare yourself how much you are up to the date. And in the next week, if I complete Jenkins, then again you can go for the mock interview and you can compare yourself like how much you are up to the date. And coming to the resume guidance as well as career guidance, resume preparation, everything we are going to take care. But in the day one of the classes, I am telling you one thing. How much of hours you are going to invest on yourself? Only 2 hours. How much? Of course, if you want to practice for 4 to 5 hours also, it's fine, but that is not required. I'll tell one small formula. How to practice DevOps in an effective way. If you listen to my techniques, what are the techniques I'm gonna tell for all of you? Trust me, you will get the job at any cost. But for that purpose, you need to commit a lot for yourself. That commitment required how much? Only 2 hours. How much? So now tell me, are you going to invest 2 hours on yourself for next 60 days? I'm not getting the positive vibe from you guys. Yes or not? Sure. How many hours? Per? And at the end of the week, you are going to attend the mock interviews. What you are going to attend? Mock interview means here only we are going to conduct. Okay. The people who are interested for the jobs really, we will be conducting the mock interviews for you. Okay. So fine. Like my message is clear for all of you. Again, I'm telling you, as a DevOps engineer, it might be fresher or experience. From my classes, you are going to gain at least 3 to 4 years of experience. By that experience, you can crack any kind of job. But it depends upon yourself. Next 60 days will be very, very important for your life. In your childhood days, somebody might tell you if you work hard for 10th, inter will be very easy. Have you heard these kind of words? Just to 10th, koncha kastapadi ayipoddi inter. After if you go to intermediate, what they will tell again? Inter just 2 years. If you work hard, your life will be settled. You can go for NIT, you can go for IIT, which is not going to happen. After going to college also, just 4 years BTech. If you work hard, then your life will be success. But forget about 10th inter and BTech. This next 2 to 3 months will be very crucial for all of you. Again, I'm telling, after 3 months, if we meet on the same place, I would like to see all of you with your offer letters only. For that purpose, I am fully committed to help you in all the aspects. But you need to prepare for yourself whether you are committed for the next 3 months or not. Okay, fine. So, all in hope my message is clear for all of you. Yeah, it was clear. Fine. So there is a question from Janvi. I haven't completed my graduation. There is a gap. So it's gonna see. I'm telling you guys, if your year gap is more than 3 years, definitely it's gonna be very, very effective a lot in the interviews. But if your year gap is less than 1 year or 1.5 years, that's completely fine. And for the female, especially, even though if you are having 2-3 years of gap, that's completely fine. You can tell some maternity leave as well as you can tell some other leaves. You have the chance. Okay. So don't worry about it as of now. I'm going to guide you through the process. Sir, how to get into tier 1 and tier 2 companies DevOps engineer? I'll guide you, Devshes. Don't worry. So again, I'm telling, first of all, your top priority need to be knowledge, not the job. Again, I'm telling you, what is your top priority? I'll be delivering the complete real-time standard knowledge. But for that purpose, yes, you need to pay attention in the classes. Okay, fine. So in today's class, I'm going to tell you the realistic way of how the DevOps engineer work is going to be happening in real time. Currently, you have the server in front of you. Guys, again, I'm telling you, till now, I haven't said what is server and I haven't explained the process to create the server. Why? Because it is your Monday session. In Monday, I'm going to tell you how to create the server. So when if somebody tell you what is the meaning of server, what you expect? Is it a difficult thing to create the server, or is it a easy thing to create the server? Easy. How many of you says creation of server is easy? Raise your hands. Only one. And from online, how many of you think server creation is easy? You can ping on comment section. Sir, English is compulsory as a DevOps engineer. It's the craziest question actually I got. Without English, how can you communicate? Okay. Definitely, Swati. Definitely, it's going to help you. After the end of the course, you are going to tell me the same question from my end, and you are going to get the answer from yourself. Okay. So creation of server is easy as ABC. That was correct. Guys, I'm telling you, few years ago, that means before cloud comes into the market, if you want to create the server, it will take lot of hours. How much of time? Lot of hours. But nowadays, if you want to create server, 1 minute is maximum enough. How much of time? 1 minute. So currently I have a server. In the server, we are going to deploy the application. So as per our last class, if you go and see, when I speak about the 3-tier architecture, let me open the pen. My main agenda for all of you is to insert the 3-tier architecture into your brain compulsory. Why? Because I'm telling you, lot of people who is working on real time and who is learning DevOps, they don't know how to explain 3-tier. But if you go to internal organizations or any of the company, all your work will be happening on 3-tier. If you can't understand 3-tier, you cannot work on real time. So as a part of that one, my main goal for today's class is going to be to give the complete end-to-end knowledge about 3-tier. Already, you know what is 3-tier, right? Web server, app server, and so I'm going to ask some questions for you from the last class point of view. I'll be taking here 3 different servers: server number 1, and server number 2, and server number 3. So what is your server number 1 called as? It is web server. Sir, already we seen this in last class or not, sir? So it is my web server. So coming to the next one here. So my second server name will be what? App. App server. And third one will be DB server. That's it. Okay. Sir, web server main purpose is to show the application. Correct or not, sir? To show the application. And app server main purpose is to use the application. And DB server main purpose is to store the data and to retrieve the data. See, first of all, you need to make sure this is completely easy for all of you to understand. Okay. I'm going to take this one. This is to store and retrieve data. Is it clear for all of you now? Again, web server is to show the application. App server to use the application, and DB server. So already this we have seen in the last session very clearly. Now I'm going to show you how to implement this one. Sir, if you go and see what is the example of Apache, if somebody asks you what is web server, we have web servers called Apache and Nginx. Okay. See, if I open any kind of application, let me open Book My Show. So in Book My Show, are you really able to see the application here? If you are seeing, means currently that is your web server. What is installed on that server? Apache. It might be Apache or it might be Nginx. For example, in this server, if there is no Apache or if there is no Nginx, you cannot able to see it. Okay. Let me show it practically for all of you. Why? Because if you go and see, again, I'm telling you one more time for all of you, without learning the 3-tier architecture, you cannot work on real time. That is the reason in second day also, in day 2 also, the practical things, I'm going to repeat everything for you. So if you go to GitHub and Ramshek, there is a repository called all setups. There you can go and you can check here. Netflix application. So already I'll be having the script, so I'm not going to explain this as of now. Why? Because this I'll be doing on upcoming days. Netflix.sh. So before I go and see this one, my first question for all of you is, I think all of you know ChatGPT, right? How many of you are using ChatGPT in your daily lives? Okay. So for my question is, for what purpose you are using ChatGPT? Shell scripts. Okay, and you? Coding purpose. Okay, next. There is somebody here at hand. Writing mails. Okay, I'll ask you one straightforward question for all of you. Do you really think that ChatGPT is going to overtake our jobs? No. And do you think ChatGPT can work efficiently more than human? No, right? I'll just make it live for you. Why? Because a lot of people will think ChatGPT is going to take over our jobs, but that is not going to possible. Why? Because I'll show you live example today. For example, I'll ask ChatGPT how much time it required on a server. So I'm asking to the ChatGPT how much time did it really require to install Apache on the server. If you go and see, just go and check how much of time it is taking. So wait, overall install cost of I don't want cost of installing, I just want time. Wait. How much time here? I haven't given the proper prompt here. How much time it required to install Apache on a server. So if you go and see here, like at that you will be getting some time here. It is gonna take in a few hours in a day. So to configure the Apache, it is telling that ChatGPT is taking like almost a few hours. But if I go and see on my scripts, here I have the script. In the script, I install Apache and I'm going to deploy the application also. Just go and check the time, how much time it is going to take to work with it. sh netflix.sh. See, in the script, I have the Apache. Okay, I created a script to install the Apache and to deploy the application also. So it is taking that almost 15 seconds. How many seconds? In the 15 seconds, my Apache is installed as well as my application is also running. If you can go and see, is your Apache server is running or not? It's running or not? How much time it take? 30. So if I can go and see, if I copy the public IP address, and if I go and check, I can be able to see the application. Currently, tell me one thing. Are you able to see the application here? Yes or no? What is the first point they say in the 3D architecture? Web server is to show the application. So for that purpose, we need to install either Apache or either Nginx. And one more thing is port number. The port number of web server is 80. It is fixed. What is the port number? 80. So for example, tell me one thing. If I have Apache in my server, I can able to see the application. See, if you can go and see here, can I able to see the application here? But tell me one thing. If I don't have Apache in my server, can I able to see the application? Yes or no? Answer will be no. Let's go and check. So here what exactly I'm going to do is, see guys, this is called as live logs. In real time, how many people are accessing your application? You can check with the help of this live logs. Again, this I'll explain later for you. Don't worry. Here what I'm doing is yum remove. By using the M package manager, I am removing Apache. What I'm removing here? Apache. What is the purpose of this one is I just want to remove the Apache and I want to check whether I can able to see the application or not. Currently you can see Apache got removed. Here HTTP stand for Apache. HTTP stand for. Now I remove the Apache in my server. If I go and click on refresh, are you able to see the application now? Just go and check. It's reloading the page. Wait for some time. Is it working now? Why it is not working? Because the major reason is currently Apache is not working here. Apache is not working. So here if we can go and see, this is the first point you need to understand. In web server, to show the application, what is the major thing you need to install? Apache. What is the port number? If Apache is installed, you can see the application. If Apache is not installed, can you see the application? No. Now I'll ask you a question. If you can go and see on any of the browser, currently you can see the bookmark application. That means in the background, is my Apache running on this server or not? If the Apache is not running, can we able to see the server? Sometimes if you open any of the server, any of the application, it is not tell that server timeout or application is under maintenance. Have you seen these kind of pages? The reason is Apache is not running at that time. What is not running? Whenever if you see application is under maintenance or try after some time or server not connecting. So the main reason is at that time in that particular server, Apache is not running. So the primary reason why we cannot see the application is due to Apache. If it is running, we can see the application. If it is not running, can we see the application? No. So this is the point number 1. So all of you need to understand. All of you know, Online guys, are you able to hear me now? Okay, fine. So just now here I said regarding the Apache. So if your Apache is running, we can able to see the application. So if Apache is not running, can we able to see the application? No. So this is the information about web server. Again, I'm telling web server main purpose is to show the application. So examples of the web servers are Apache and Nginx. What is the port number? 80. So if this web server is running, application will visible. If this web server is not running, application will not visible. Fine. Coming to the server number 2. My server number 2 will be what, sir, here? App server. What is the primary functionality of application server? To use the application. So in interview, they are going to ask you a question. What kind of application server that you have used on your project? So example will be, we have a lot of application servers in the market, but the best one among them, all of them is going to be Tomcat. What it is? Apache Tomcat. See, you can call it as Apache Tomcat or you can call it as even Tomcat also. So for the simplicity, I'm going to call it as Tomcat. Apart from Tomcat, we have Nginx also. We have what here? And apart from that, we have something called as IIS. And apart from that, we have something called as WebSphere. WebLogic we can call it as. Okay. So we have some n number of web application servers. And coming to the port number of these servers will be 8080. So this is going to be very, very important question for all of you. Port number of web server is 80. Only 80. For web server port number is, but for app server 8080. What is the example of web server? Apache. And example of app server? Tomcat. So web server is to show the application and app server is to use the application. Fine. Sir, you shown us how to install the web server. Fine. But next year, if I go and see, I'm just showing you how much of automation you are going to learn. I'm going to ask the ChatGPT that how much time it will take to install Tomcat. So I'm asking the time of installing Tomcat. Let me copy the prompt here. If you can go and see this prompt, I'm just copying the prompt here. Why? Because I want to show you how much of time it required. How much of time it required to install Tomcat? What I'm going to install? Tomcat. So if you can go and check here. So guys, it is ultimately that is going to tell 15 to 1 hour in the middle. If you can go and see. Overall, the entire process will be typical and will be completed within few hours. How much of time? So online, if somebody knows about the Tomcat, just tell me your experience that how much of time that we require to set up Tomcat. If you know something. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, still Even online, like if anybody is working on Tomcat, you can tell your experience that how much of time it required to set up the Tomcat. 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, still any answers? That's correct only. He's my previous student. So basically, a lot of people is telling that it is 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. But the realistic answer is gonna be 1 second. How much of time? First of all, tell me, do you really believe that it will take 1 second? How many of you are not believing this one? Raise your hands. Slightly raise your hand. Majority. So it is what exactly I can call as. I'll tell it later. Okay. So remind this word. Tomcat setup will take how much of time? I'm saying 1 second. That is possible for me. And you are telling it's not possible. So let's go and check. If you go to my scripts here, it is my complete setup where you can take it for free of cost. There is a script called tomcat.sh. Which one it is? So wait. So what exactly I'm going to do now is, guys, here is the script actually. I'm going to copy the entire script. Okay. So don't worry as of now. Scripting, I haven't started. I'm going to start this all the topic one by one. The main intention of today's session is just to show you how much of automation you are going to learn. In today's session, I'm going to teach you automation only. Just want to show you how much of automation, okay? But don't worry. Again, all these concepts I'm going to teach one by one for you when we start the Linux classes. So I just copied the script here and I'm going to my server here. So VM script name will be tomcat.sh. Have you seen the script here? How much of time I said for you? 1 second, right? Is anyone having the stopwatches here? If you have, you can put. Guys, really, I'm telling only 1 second. So if you can go and check, hit enter. Done. What you are seeing here, Tomcat got started. Acha sir, you are showing the message, but where is the output? I'll show you. Copy the public IP address of your server. What is the port number of Tomcat, sir? 80. Good. So what I can do here, I'll be going here, give the public IP address. What is the port number? 80. Hit enter. Automatically you can see the Tomcat page now. Are you seeing Tomcat now? How much time it took? Huh? Now raise your hands. How many of you are going to tell it's not possible? Hey, raise your hands, man. It's fine. So it is what exactly we can call it as emotional damage. Okay. So just kidding. So remember, not only this kind of scripts, entire scripts, even if you take some advanced tool like Prometheus, Grafana. Have you ever heard about Prometheus and Grafana? It is very high-end monitoring tool. Okay. Even though if I ask ChatGPT, how much of time it required to set up Prometheus? Let's go and check. I'm just asking the ChatGPT. How much of time it required to install Prometheus on a server? So typically you can get 15 to 30 minutes most of the time. You can go and check here. So wait. So entire process will be taking within few hours to few days, right? But if you go to my script, here I have something called as Prometheus. Let me show you the script actually. Here you can see Prometheus. Have you seen this one? It is a script what exactly I'm gonna use to install Prometheus. You know how much of time it will take? Just any guess, some random time? Just guess any random time. How much of time it required? 1 minute, huh? Oh, 1 second is not possible in all the times, huh? I cannot do this much of automation. Huh? Fine. So again, Vasanta, so 1 second is not possible all the times. It's only for one time, huh? So typically, it will take only 3 to 4 seconds. How many seconds? Let me show you. Just to go for Prometheus.sh, I paste the script. And one more thing, if you can see, the number of lines will be 56 number of lines. How much of script? But this 56 number of line script will be executing only 5 seconds. How many? If you want me to show, just let me run the Prometheus script. So it's done now. Is it done? It is activated or not, sir? Okay, sir, you shown that is activated, but how to see the output? Again, copy the public IP address. The Prometheus port number will be 9093. It's 9090. So if you can go and see, am I able to see the dashboard of Prometheus or not, sir? So now by this one, tell me one thing. ChatGPT is telling that to install Tomcat will take 1 hour, but how much time we took? And Prometheus will take typically 15 to 30 minutes, but how much of time we took? And Apache will take 1 hour, but how much time we took? Apache, 15 seconds only, right? So do you really believe is ChatGPT going to take our jobs? No. No. I'll tell you one thing. ChatGPT is the alternative for our Google. Previously, if you want any kind of information, you go to Google browser and you are going to search about that information. But recent days, you are not going to use Google. You are going to use. That means ChatGPT is an alternative search engine for the Google Chrome. Apart from that, don't think it is gonna take our jobs. Even in the DevOps, a lot of people are going to use ChatGPT. In our course also, the best part about our course is I am gonna show you how to use ChatGPT as a DevOps engineer in daily life. For example, you want to create one CI/CD pipeline. I'll show you how to create the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, but after that, I'm gonna use ChatGPT how to create the pipeline from the ChatGPT prompts. So this is one of the best feature from our course. Okay, I'm gonna teach the DevOps, AWS, Linux. Apart from that, how to use ChatGPT for a DevOps engineer aspects. So with the help of ChatGPTs, in our future classes, I'm gonna show you how to create pipelines. I'm gonna show you how to write the Ansible playbook. I'm gonna show you how to write Docker file, Terraform code, as well as bash scripts. Everything I'm gonna show you. But first of all, I'll teach my own way of writing the scripts and all. Then later, I'm gonna show you the same scripts how to create from the ChatGPT itself. So in that case, in future, if you go to any of the organization, you know how to work on yourself and you know how to use ChatGPT. So it is going to be added advantage or not, sir? Definitely is gonna be advantage for all of you. That's it. So now tell me one thing. So first of all, that have you got some confidence that we are going to learn complete automation or not? Or do you want me to show one more some other scripts like this? If you got that confidence, then we can go for the concept. Or otherwise, I'll show some other scripts for you. Of course, like all the scripts I'm not going to show on single day. In upcoming days, I'm going to show you some other scripts. So in today's class, I'm going to teach you how to create a server. But again, the same concept I'm going to repeat for Monday also. Why? Because in Monday, there are some other students going to join on the same session. So here I'm just going to give an overview how to create a server. Okay, fine. So from now, I'm going to start the class for today. So till now, I just shown you how to utilize the ChatGPT as well as how to work with the automated scripts from our course. And one more thing, guys, these kind of scripts, entire DevOps tool scripts are there in this single repository. You can take it from my GitHub account directly. And if you go to any other institute, nobody is going to provide these kind of automated scripts for you. That's for damn sure. So now let's go and try to create a server in the cloud itself. So I'm going to give an overview how to create a server. First of all, the basic point will be, what is a server? Already we seen in the last class. Server is an. So server is nothing but a server only. Server serve the services to the end user. So to make it more easy, I'm going to compare server to a computer. What I'm going to compare? Server to a computer. If you know about computers, then understanding about the servers are going to be very, very easy for all of you. First of all, tell me, what are the major important things that need to run a computer? See, if I want to run a computer or if I want to use a computer, what are the major things that we need to have for our computer? Somebody said OS, correct. Apart from that, first one will be operating system. Second one, all of you are having computers, right? I mean like laptops. Internet. Without internet also you can use computer, na? Okay, power. Forgot about the power. It's not that much of mandatory. You have the portable batteries. I'm asking about the major components in the computer. Hardware. Correct. Hardware means it comes with CPU and RAM. Then still you said about OS and hardware. Only these two. RAM. So here hardware is nothing but I can say RAM and CPU. Apart from RAM and CPU, what is the other thing you want? Major important thing. Correct. ROM. That is storage actual. And sorry. So OS you said that was very correct. RAM and CPU you said that was very correct. And apart from that, ROM. And again, input devices, software also. Okay. GPU. Fine. Okay. So let me tell you something. So these will be the major components of a computer. First of all, I'm not talking about the whole components. I'm talking about the major components. What are the major components? OS. And somebody is telling that software, basically there are some inbuilt software in the OS itself. Okay, so no need to download them separately. So OS, RAM and CPU. Third one will be, if you know about these three things in a computer, just like a computer want OS, RAM, CPU and ROM, similarly our server want all of these three components to work. Okay, if I go to my EC2 instance here, if I can go and see, this is the already created server. So I'm going to make it separate for you. So click on launch instance. So till now I'm just giving overview only. In tomorrow's class, I'm going to go for complete in-depth. I'm just providing the overview of EC2. See, first of all, here you can see something called as name syntax. For every server in real time, we need to put the name. Why? Because tell me one thing. If you have hundreds of servers, how are you going to identify the particular server with the help of name? For example, there are 30 people in the class. If I don't know, like if I don't know your perfect name, how can you ask you a question? Or how can you work with it? How can I call with you? Is it practically possible? No. So in real-time organizations, you really don't believe there are some hundreds of servers you are going to manage, not one or two guys. There will be some hundreds of servers. If you ask me, in my organization, I worked with almost 200 servers. Like not exactly 200, it will be 205 servers. The exact figure will be. Okay. So, but for the round figure, I am giving 200 servers. So definitely for these 200 servers, we need to put the name. Otherwise, working with the single server is going to be very, very difficult. Why? Because we can't identify them. So here I'm going to give the name of the server as web server. What I am using here? Web server. First part is done. So part number one will be assigning the name. So here I'm writing the steps to create the server. Steps to create server. What is the step number one? Giving name. Okay. And one more thing. In our AWS cloud, we are going to call server as EC2 instance. We can call it as EC2 or instance. The full form of EC2 is going to be Elastic Cloud Compute. Is that clear? Elastic Cloud Compute or Compute Cloud? Sure. Eh? Elastic Cloud Compute or Compute Cloud? Just go ahead and see. If I go to the AWS and if I see here EC2, you can call it as virtual server also, and you can call it as instance. But if you go and ask what is the EC2 full form, see what you are seeing here. Elastic Compute Cloud. What it is? Elastic Compute Cloud. But what you guys said here, Elastic Cloud Compute. That is completely wrong. It is one of the question for a fresher. What is the full form of EC2? So directly you need to tell Elastic Compute Cloud. Some people might confuse here. Why? Because in cloud computing, AWS is a part. So you think EC2 means Elastic Cloud Compute, but that is completely wrong, guys. The full form of EC2 will be Elastic Compute Cloud. So please don't forget this one. Why? Because it's going to be very important for all of you. Fine. So to create the EC2, the first step will be giving the name. And the second step will be giving the AMI. What I'm giving here? Sir, what exactly this AMI means? Amazon Machine Image. What is the full form of AMI here? Amazon Machine. So my question is, sir, what we can get from this AMI? I'll tell you one thing. Sir, to create a server, we need to have operating system or not, sir? We need to have softwares or not, sir? And we need to have some other packages also. See, by default, what exactly will happen, if you don't have cloud, you need to create the server and you need to install the operating system, softwares and packages. So everything you need to install. But what the cloud will do, apart from installing the operating system, softwares and packages manually, the AWS cloud will already install all the operating system, packages and some other software for our server. And they are going to put on AMI. So for example, if you want me to show it diagrammatically, it is my AMI. Inside my AMI, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the operating system, softwares which require to run the application, software and some other packages also. So if you create the server manually, this all you need to install manually. But if you create from the cloud, already these packages like operating system, software packages are already given by the AWS people. So what you can do, you can go directly and you can use this one. For example, if I want to use Ubuntu operating system, are you seeing Ubuntu image here? If you click here, you can get Ubuntu image. No, sir, I want to use Windows operating system. Are you seeing Windows OS here? Windows image. Click here. No, sir. If I want to use operating system called Red Hat, are you seeing Red Hat here? That means in this image, already AWS people install Red Hat. So if you select that image, your OS will be automatically coming to the server. Okay. So this is what exactly we can call as AMI. Full form of AMI will be Amazon Machine. What does the AMI consist of? It consists of operating system, softwares, and so these are already installed into a image. If we use that image directly, this will come to our server. So tell me one thing. If I use that image, do I need to install them manually? So it is going to save our time or not, sir? Yes. So in our course, I'm going to teach you how to work with Amazon Linux, how to work with Ubuntu, how to work with Red Hat. I'm going to teach you all of them. Okay. So here for the simplicity purpose, currently I am going with the Amazon Linux 2. Okay. It is my AMI. Next one. Third point will be instance type. What is the third point here? Instance type. So here we are going to configure the hardware information. Hardware means CPU and RAM. Sir, hardware means you can get ROM also means, of course, ROM I'll configure later. But as of now, here I'm configuring what here? CPU and RAM. Tell me one thing. What is the general CPU and general RAM that you are going to use for your personal computer? What is the average CPU and average RAM that we can choose for our computers? 8 GB, right? But in companies, you know how much of CPU required to run a server? 64. No. No. Guess the average CPU size of any server in the real time? Average CPU size. 100. Very big. Then 10? No, tell me. 10? 25. 24. Okay. You are talking about the bits. Okay. So guys, I'll tell you one thing. So basically CPU and RAM depends upon the type of the server. For web server, small CPU, small RAM is enough. For app server, we need big CPUs and big RAM. Okay, so like that. So depend upon the type of the server and type of the application, we need to select the RAM and CPU. But remember, in cloud, you can get T2 micro. What I can get? T2 micro, which is very free to use. Here you can use one CPU and 1 GB of RAM. For example, if you can go and see in the AWS console, Are you seeing T2 micro? How many CPUs it is coming with? And how much of RAM? Guys, here memory indicate RAM. It's not ROM. I'll speak about ROM later. Okay. And is it free tier? So while you are using the AWS account, you need to make sure whatever the resources that you are going to create, that must be free tier. In cloud, all the resources are not going to be free. You need to pay for some kind of resource. For example, I'll show you. If I go for instance types, let me click here. If I go for the instance type, for example, in future, you want 100 CPUs. How many CPUs you want? Cloud will give you 100 CPUs. You can go here, you can get 96 CPUs, right? And how much of RAM you can get here? 192. But you know, if you want to use this 100 CPUs, how much of amount you need to pay, you know? Let me show you. If I go here and if I type this one, instance price. So if I go and see, like, let me show you on-demand instance price. See, in cloud, you can check how much of amount you are going to pay for the instance type. For example, if you can go and see what I shown you here, 96, right? Wait. Memory optimized. I'm just gonna show you the overall overview. That's it. So for example, if you want 128 CPUs, okay, you know how much of amount I need to pay here? $13.3 per hour. How much? To use that 100 CPUs, how much of amount I'm gonna pay you? $13.338. If you convert that into Indian rupees, what is the value? $1 means 80 rupees on an average. $10 means 800, right? So on an average, you are going to pay 1000 rupees. How much? Per single day. But for entire, per single hour. But for entire day? For 1 hour, it is 1000 rupees. For 24 hours, what is the value? 24,000, correct or not? So like this. So the amount of pricing is gonna be differ when we change the CPU type. For example, here if I want to use 128 CPUs, I need to pay this much, like this much of amount. But in future, I don't want 128 CPUs. Just I want only 8 CPUs. For 8 CPUs, how much of amount you are going to pay here? $0.6. How much? That means approximately you are going to pay 45 rupees to 50 rupees. So like that, that depending upon the CPU and memory, the instance price is going to be changed. But remember, for as of now, here I'm going to take T2 micro. T2 micro will be coming with 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Are these completely free of cost or not, sir? It is free tier eligible. So I'm using here T2 micro. Again, I'm telling step number 1 is nothing but giving the name for our server. Why? Because for our identification. Step number 2, we are giving AMI. What we are giving? AMI full form is Amazon Machine Image. What we have inside the AMI? OS, softwares, and packages. Who will install all of this? AWS people will install this. Directly we can use it or not, sir? Yes. Next one. Instance type. What do we have on instance type here? CPU and RAM. So if I use T2 micro, how much of CPU I'm gonna get here? 1. And how much of RAM? 1. So these are the first 3 steps. First one is name. Second one is AMI. Third one will be instance type. So before I go for the next step, is the step number 1, 2, 3. Clear for all of you know? Everybody. Guys, if I ask the question, you need to tell answer by the mouth. If you shake your head, how can I assume that one? Tell me, is the concept clear for all of you till now? Online, can you please confirm? Are the step number 1, 2, 3 clear for all of you or not? Okay, fine. So now coming to the step number 4 here. So guys, here step number 4 will be key pair. What is my step number 4 here? So key pair main purpose is to login. So if we go and check here, for example, I have a computer. Let's go and check. It is my computer. I want to connect to my computer. So I can be able to connect. Similarly, for this computer, if somebody some other person from outside of my organization is trying to connect to the server. Can we allow him? No. He know my server IP address, he know my username, and he know my password also. For example, let's take. Can he able to connect or not, sir? So for that purpose, if somebody want to connect to the server, we need to have some key for it. So for example, if you have the laptop, if you want to make some privacy and security, what you are going to do? Password. For computer also, we can put the password. Similarly, we can put password for the server. But server password will be going to very, very big. Why? Because here the password, I'm going to put it inside the key pair. If I want me to show the key pair, let me show you. I'll show you one key pair here. Just give me a second. If you go to my local computer here, there is a key pair folder that I created separately. I'll just open this key pair for you. If you go ahead and check. Are you seeing the password here? Are you able to see it or not, sir? Tell me one thing. If I put this kind of password, can anybody try to log into my server? Why? Because it is very, very difficult to remember this kind of password, right? So instead of putting the password for the server, we can put the private keys. What we can put? Private key. So the purpose of private key is whenever if you are trying to log into our server, if we give the private key, then only we can able to log in, or otherwise we cannot able to log in. So this we can put for our security purpose. Which purpose? So here if we go to the EC2 instance, let me show you. Click on create the new key pair. So here key pair name, I'm going to give it as May 4 p.m. Like I'm giving just your batch name. So click on create the new key pair. So automatically, if you can go and check, this key pair will come to your local computer. So whenever if you are trying to connect to your computer, if you have this key pair, you can connect securely. If you don't have this key pair, you cannot able to log in. Tell me one thing. Currently, where is your key pair? Inside your local laptop only. That means from this system only you can be able to connect or not, sir? If I have my friend, he want to connect to the server. To connect to the server, he need to have the private key. But currently, where is the private key? In my local machine. That means if you want to connect to the server, he need to use my local machine or not, sir? That means is it privacy or not? So this we are going to achieve from the step number 4. So here if you can go ahead and see, step number 4 is nothing but providing the key pair. What it is? Key pair. What is the main purpose of key pair? To provide the security for login. So I'm using here security for login purpose. That's it. Again, I'm repeating here. Step number 1 will be from the name. Step number 2, AMI. AMI stand for Amazon Machine Image. So in AMI, what do we have here? OS, softwares, packages. In step number 3, what do we have here? Instance type. Like we are having CPU and RAM. So here we are going to use T2 micro. T2 micro will come with how many CPUs? 1 CPU. And how much of RAM? 1 GB of RAM. And fourth one will be key pair. So key pair main purpose is for login. With the help of the key pair, we can log in safely and securely to our EC2 instance. And coming to the step number 5, this is about the VPN. That means in cloud, we can call it as VPC. But for your understanding, I'm telling it as VPN. So VPC and security group. That means simply we can call it as network settings. What do we call it as? Network settings. So in network settings for our server, here majorly we need to understand about 2 things. What is the first one? First one is about the VPC. Generally, you know about VPN, right? What is VPN? Virtual Private Network. What is the main agenda of Virtual Private Network? Why do we use it? To connect to the remote network. For example, see, currently I am launching my servers on Northern Virginia. I'm launching my servers on Northern Virginia. That means without using Northern Virginia network, can I able to connect to my server? Currently, where I am on? I'm on India. That means if I want to use my computer, like servers, do I need to go for Northern Virginia? No. So the main agenda of virtual private network means if you want to access any network from anywhere, from any part of the world. So we can use VPN. For example, the best scenario is going to be PUBG scenario. PUBG got banned in India few years ago, but in Australia, people can play PUBG. Why? Because in their country, the PUBG is allowed to play. So if you are very big fan of PUBG, now if you want to play the PUBG in India, there is no possibility to play. So now to play the PUBG, are you going to travel to Australia? No. Why? Because we can download the VPN and we can connect to the Australian network to play the PUBG. Here also, the main agenda of VPC, that is virtual private cloud in AWS, is to provide the privacy and security for our server. So if I want to isolate means separation, we can call it as. What is the meaning of isolate? So if I want to provide privacy, security and isolation for my servers. So in this case, I need to use the VPC for my servers. By default, AWS will provide one default VPC for our servers, but we don't use it on real time. We will create our custom VPCs based upon our requirement. But in upcoming days, I'm going to teach you how to create our own VPCs. But as of now, I'm proceeding with the default VPC. So here I'm writing here. First of all, it is VPC. Full form is virtual private cloud. So here, what is the main purpose? To provide privacy, security, and isolation for our servers. Second one will be security groups. Sir, previously I said about something, right? So if you go and check, what is the port number of web server? Web server 80, app server. So that means here this 8080 and 80, this will be called as ports. What do we call as? For every software, that means for every kind of software and every kind of tools what we are going to install on our server, those will have the port numbers. Okay. If you want to access any kind of server, that can be web server, that can be app server, that can be database server, or that can be any application, definitely we need to give the port numbers. If you don't give port number, you cannot able to access the application. For example, the port number of Tomcat is 8080. Correct or not, sir? Let me show you. If I go back here, I'll take the duplicate tab. I'll take the duplicate tab here. So if I go back to instance, currently in this server, my Tomcat is running. Correct or not, guys? I'll go here. I'll copy the public IP address. And I'll give the port number 8080. Currently, am I able to access the application or not? But what if I'm not giving the port number, I'm just giving the public IP address? Am I able to access the Tomcat now? That means if you provide the port number, then only the application will come. Here, see, still it is loading. Wait for some time. Are you able to see Tomcat now? Why I'm not able to see? Because I missed the port number. So if you want to access any kind of application from your server, so definitely we need to give the port number. That port numbers will be defined on security groups. Where we can define the port numbers? By default, our server will accept port number 0 to 65,535. This is the port number for our server. That means from port to 0 to 65,535. So to this range, we can access any kind of port in our server. But if we don't give this one, we cannot access any kind of applications from the browser. So it is not possible. That is the step number 5. Again, I'll explain one more time. Step number 5 will be network settings. So first one will be VPC. That is virtual private cloud. Main purpose is to provide privacy, security and isolation. Second one will be security groups. So security group will range from 0 to 65,535. If I don't give security groups, what will happen? Can I able to access any application? No. Fine. And step number 6 will be storage. Which one? Storage. Guys, by default, we can call storage as volumes. That is full form is EBS volumes. What we can call as? EBS stand for elastic block storage. That is the full form of EBS. Again, EBS stands for elastic block storage. By default, you can get 8 GB of EBS volume. How much? But maximum you can get up to 16 terabytes of EBS volume. Minimum will be 8 GB. That is a default and minimum, but maximum will be 16 terabytes. But in real time, how much of data we're going to use means maximum 100 GB is enough for application. But again, if the application is very big like Netflix, Swiggy and Zomato, we need to use some terabytes of data. But some mid-level applications, 100 GB of data is maximum enough in the organization. Again, till 30 GB, it is completely free of cost. But if the EBS volume is more than 30 GB, we need to pay amount for it. But as of now, here I am going to proceed with the 8 GB of EBS volume. How much? 8 GB. So these will be the 6 steps. Again, I am explaining the 6 steps to all of you. Step number 1 will be name. That means for every server, if you want to create, first of all, we need to give the name for the server. Name I am giving it as web server. Second one will be AMI. What is an AMI here? AMI stand for Amazon Mission Image. Inside the AMI, what do we have? Operating system, softwares, packages. Who will install this OS and everything? AWS people. Okay, so I'm taking here Amazon Linux 2. You need to select the second one. Okay. Next one, instance type. So instance type will be T2 micro. What do we have an instance type here? You can check CPU and RAM. If I select T2 micro, how many CPUs I'll get? 1 CPU. And how much of RAM? 1 GB of RAM. Coming to the step number 4, it's key pair. Key pair main purpose is to log in safely to our servers. So here I have my own key pair. This I download previously. I can use the same key pair. Next one will be security groups and VPC. VPC main purpose is to provide privacy, security and isolation. And security group main purpose is to access the application. If you don't give port number, you cannot able to access the application. What is the port range of security groups here? 0 to 65,535. But guys, by default, you can only allow SH traffic by default. That means with a 22 port number only you can connect. But if I want to give all traffic, what you can do, you can see something called as edit option. Which option? If I click on edit, instead of SSH, I want to put all the ports. So put all traffic. What I can put? If I do this one, so from port number 0 to 65,535, all the ports will be activated. Again, I'll explain one more thing. Here you have something called as edit button. Click on edit first of all, then go for all traffic. If you select this one, all the ports will be activated in our server and you can access any kind of application. And step number 6 will be EBS volume. Minimum and by default volume will be 8 GB, but maximum how much of volume you can give? 60. And for free tier, how much of GB is free? Till 30 GB, no need to pay single penny. But if it is more than 30 GB, we need to pay as per the billing. So once if you're done with all of them, there is one more thing called advanced details. If you want to provide any advanced configuration for our server, we can provide here. But as of now, I'll skip this one. Why? Because I'll explain this on upcoming sessions. Why? Because there are lot of details you need to learn in the advanced settings, which we are going to see one by one in the upcoming classes. If you give the general configuration like this, and finally, if you click on launch instance, automatically your server will be creating. If you can go and check, is your server running or not, sir? Let me click on this ID. If you click on that ID, your server will be up and running. Currently, it is on which status? So from pending to, it will come to running status. Wait for 30 seconds. Sometimes your server can run within less than 10 seconds. Sometimes it will take 30 to 40 seconds also. Okay. So currently it is on which state? Once your server got created, if you want to connect to your server, are you seeing on this checkbox? Click on the checkbox and click on connect. So you can see one more connect option here. Are you able to see this one? If you can connect, so this is the server what you have just now launched. So are you able to see your server now? So here also now you can launch whatever you want. You can install Tomcat here. You can install Apache here. You can install database. You can install Prometheus. Whatever you want to install, you can install. If you want me to show, let's just install the Netflix application. So you can go to my scripts here. Are you seeing the Netflix application here? I just run this one script, okay? I'll copy the entire script and I'll run it. And as of now, you don't know how exactly I'm running this script. Why? Because you don't know what is Linux. I'll start Linux in the Monday session, okay? So don't worry from as of now. I'm just showing you like how we are going to learn automation, okay? Now copy the public IP address. What is the port number of web server? 80. So what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll paste the public IP address and I'll copy the port number of 80. Can you able to see the Netflix application running here now? Are you able to see it or not? Similarly, if you want to install Tomcat also in the same server, basically in real time, you don't install both of them on same server, but for practical purpose, I'm showing you. If you want to install Tomcat also, let me show the Tomcat here. Copy the script. And what you can do is you can go here. So I can stop this one. VM tomcat.sh. So copy the script here. It's not copied. Wait. I just copied the script and I'm pasting it here. sh tomcat.sh. Now automatically the Tomcat is also going to run. But for that purpose, first of all, what you are going to do, you need to copy the public IP address. Are you seeing the public IP address here? If you copy the public IP address and I'm removing all of these extra browsers, let me remove all of them. What is the port number of Tomcat? 8080. So if I hit enter, that is going to run. Just give me a second. So I'm hitting the enter now. Is it loading or not, sir? So this is the way how exactly you are going to create the server. But guys, today I have just given the overview of how to create the server. But again, the same concept I'm going to repeat on Monday session. Don't worry it. So the reason why I took 2 days for 3-tier architecture is, again and again I'm telling, if you are a fresher or if you are experienced, if you want to work on DevOps, means you need to understand the 3-tier architecture. If you can't understand the architecture, you cannot work as a DevOps engineer. Okay, that's it. So in today's session, what we learn, I just shown you how to run the automated scripts and how to deploy any kind of application with the help of script. And I shown you how to create an EC2 instance. But again, the same concepts are also going to be repeated on Monday. So guys, tomorrow we don't have session. Why? Because for the first week of demos, we don't have session on Saturday. But from next to Monday, we will be having Saturdays also the classes. Okay, only for tomorrow we don't have any class. Next class will be when? On Monday. So now before going for doubts and queries, my first question for all of you, like how's the class for all of you today? Is it good for all of you? Online, can you please confirm me how's the class for all of you today? Can you all of you ping me on like chat box here? So it was good, fine, great, interesting, great. Okay. Fine. So guys, it's time for our doubts and queries. So my first thing was for all of you, are you seeing the live running notes, right? So these notes will be given for all of you in the Google Classroom. Don't worry about the running notes. I'll be sharing these notes with all of you in the Google Classroom. Okay. And second thing is, for the online, you can get the syllabus copy to your mail. So the people whoever attending from the online, you can check your mails after the session. You will be getting the syllabus copy to your attached mails. And for the offline, if you want syllabus, you can go to the ground floor and you can ask Mr. Beam to share the syllabus. He is going to send you the syllabus for all of you. Okay. That's it. So online, just I'm gonna down all the hands here as of now. So the people, whoever is having any kind of queries, please raise your hands. I'm gonna give unmute option for all of you one by one. And offline, if you are having any kind of queries, you can go ahead and you can ask now. Yeah, please. What is port number? Is nothing but if you want to access any kind of application, there you need to give port number. For every service, we have the port number. For example, let's take, we are having 30 people in the class. Each and every individual, we have the roll number. Based upon the roll number only, you are going to respond or not, sir? Here also for every service and every application, we have the port number. If we give that port number, then only application will work. For example, if I call roll number 3, is he going to respond or not? But if I don't call roll number 3, is he going to respond? Here also in server, lot of services will be there. Which service I want to access, I need to give that related port number. So then only that particular service will work. For example, if I want me to show an example, if you go and check. For this server, I have the port number 80. See, in the server, I have web server and app server. Both are installed on single server only. If I want to access web server, I need to give port number 80. So I can able to see the web server here. But if I want to access the application server, I need to give port number 8080, same IP. But if I change the port number, service is going to change or not, guys? Like that. I hope it is clear for all of you. Port numbers are already fixed. By default, what are the port numbers that you are going to use? That will be fixed port numbers. But if you want to change, we can change some port numbers. I'll tell you how to change. Fine. So Ram, first of all, I'll go with theory, then only practical. Okay. So till now, I'm just with the demos, right? But when the course the course is going to start, first of all, I'll cover theory. So then I'll be covering practical simultaneously. Hope it is clear. So guys, again, I'm telling, so coming to the placements, don't worry about the placements. We'll be taking care of it. First of all, you need to focus on the subject, like how to get the good knowledge. Okay. After the end of the course, we are going to conduct interviews for you. Don't worry about that one. So Akash, it's not possible, Akash. And Sai Pavan, the classes will be from Amirpet only. So the offline classes will be complete from Amirpet itself. You can come to Amirpet for the course. I hope it is clear for Sipa Sundar. Apart from IP address, can we put host name? Basically, you need to put DNS. Host name is not going to work for you. So you need to put the DNS, Chetan. So online, I'm giving unmute option for the Debshesh Nayak, first of all. So Debshesh, you can speak now.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have couple of questions. The
Please.
first question is like all servers are either Apache or Nginx, like whether it's a app server or
No, if it is
web server.
application server, it can be Tomcat, Nginx, IIS, WebSphere, like that. If it is web server, Apache or Nginx. So depends upon the type of the server. We have different alternatives for it, Naik.
Okay, sir. So I can take it this way, like for building a house, we need bricks, cements, and all these things. So these are basically Apache or Nginx, but the provider can be anyone, like any
Yes,
local. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But yeah, Apache, Nginx, all they have the basic is same. Like how we build a computer, like SR computer or SS
Already the
computer.
software is going to be installed on the package. If I download that package, everything will comes to my local server. Okay. So we are not gonna do it extensively. If I just give the command yum install Nginx, that is gonna be enough for me.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Got it. So one more question. You have showed us the cost thing, like the cost pricing and all these things for CPUs and RAM.
Yeah,
Suppose
yeah.
I'm working for a client.
Okay.
So on what will be my like on what factors I'm gonna decide like how much CPU and RAM and storage
By
if I
experience,
give.
you will get some knowledge, Devshesh. Like, and one more thing is all these factors will be given by the technical architect or even DevOps architect. Based upon their architecture, we are going to work on it. Okay. So as a DevOps engineer, you will be having a lot of heads. Okay. So they will decide like where to take from the RAM and how much of CPU we're gonna take. So they will decide and let us know.
Okay, sir. So,
Yeah.
sir, one more thing. For the classes, sir, is there any morning classes or late night, like late night after 9?
As
Is
of
there
now, we
any?
don't have that classes there, but in upcoming days, my new batch is going to start, but it'll take at least 10 days from as of now. But you can continue on this course, and when the new batch is started, you can shift to there.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Can you say like at what timing the new batch going to start?
9 a.m.
Like
morning 9 a.m.
morning classes, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
9
sir.
a.m. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next, Kiran, you can speak, Kiran.
Yeah, hi. Actually, so I am working as a big data architect. Actually, so
Okay.
if I learn that DevOps, so how can you help in my career growth?
So, as a big data architect, like, can I expect like what are your daily activities and like what are your daily routines like you are going to participate on? Like, I think so. Like, you might work on something called pipelines.
Yes,
Correct me if I'm
exactly.
wrong.
So whatever that GitHub, all those things. So I am working actually. So for deployment, so we are taking the code from GitHub and then we are deploying into the big
Okay,
data.
okay.
So all those we are working. So if I learn the full DevOps course, so how can it will helpful for me in the career growth?
So definitely, like Kiran, I just want to tell you one thing. Basically, like as of now, you're working as an architect, right?
Yes.
So if you take this course, you'll be getting the ground level work. So to how to start a project from the end to end. For example, like I'm going to tell you, there is an entire workflow of a DevOps engineer that how to start the project, that how to create the server, how to automate the deployment, and how to automate the cluster creation. Like here, you are going to learn the complete automation. For example, if you go to real time, there will be almost all like inbuilt pipelines before you go to organization or like some any other. But if you learn this course, you can build any kind of pipeline from the scratch point of view, and you can customize the pipeline settings to automate it even on a better way.
Okay, so you are going to create that pipelines in the Terraform or Ansible, all these it will going to cover it, right?
I'm gonna teach pipelines that how to work with Ansible and how to work with Terraform and how to work with Docker. So for every tool, whatever you are going to learn in DevOps, I'm gonna create the pipelines for you, and I'm gonna show you how to automate the entire stuff.
So for the creation of these pipelines, or we need to develop some code, right? For that, we need any coding knowledge like Python or anything.
No. See, pipeline will come with Groovy, right? You don't need to
Yeah.
use any Python or any other programming language. So it comes with a domain specific language called Groovy script. Okay, that is some entire different language where I'm gonna teach you from the scratch point. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Manoj Sai, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hi, so am I audible?
Yeah, Manoj, you are audible.
So after completion of this course, like what kind of AWS certifications can we do?
So Manoj, it is not AWS course. Here we are going to majorly focus on DevOps itself. Okay. So here
Okay,
you'll be
so we
getting the complete
mm,
knowledge about the DevOps. It is not AWS course, right?
mm. So we are learning some AWS concepts also, right?
Yeah. That concepts of infrastructure part only. Like how much of AWS is required for DevOps, that much of stuff I'm gonna cover for you here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fine. So next, Janavi, you can go ahead.
Hi, I wanted to ask you for the Apache and the Tomcat. So you just said that these two applications are the same. So is it? And you have told us that the port number is different. So for the Apache, for the I think web version for Apache, it's a 80, and for the another one Tomcat, it's a 8080.
Yeah.
So the Apache Tomcat and the Apache, these these two
These two are different, Janavi. One is web server, one is app server. Okay.
So, so the name is same, but the servers are different.
Yes, different. One is the web server, which is Apache, and Tomcat will be app server. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
Thank you.
Sir, I mean, is the placement offer from institute side or like any? See, institute will give you the openings information. That means, for example, like somewhere in the Hyderabad or somewhere in the Bangalore, if there is a DevOps opening is there. So we are going to send that opening as well as details for your mail. You need to apply to that offer. I mean, like you need to apply for that company and you are going to crack it. Hope it is clear for you, Siba. Fine. So as of now, like from today's class, we just seen how to create an EC2 instance. Okay, your next class will be on Monday. So for tomorrow, we don't have any class. Your next class will be on Monday. Don't worry. In Monday, again, I'm going to recall the 3-tier architecture one more time. And again, I'm going to show you how to create the EC2 instance. Okay. So let's meet on Monday session with the same topic. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you, guys.